Hey guys, welcome to the new series Generative AI on Databricks Free Edition. What all things we are going to learn? So I have seen that whenever any new person starts learning generative AI, he gets confused like where to run the show, where to install, and how to get the tokens. They are very costly outside and all. Like you may have to pay in dollars. It is a complicated process to do that. Okay, so I just wanted to simplify this with this series. Recently, Databricks has started or made their entire workspace free edition available for those who are trying to learn few things. There are of course not unlimited resources, but within that also, like everything a new person needs to learn generative AI uh, on the world's best platform is available. Okay, so let us begin. What all things we are going to do in this series is we are going to have like around 10-15 videos, starting with understanding the concepts of generative AI, how it has taken over the world. I will also be walking you through what all different features are available on Databricks free edition and why we should uh, default our learning platform as Databricks free edition for learning generative AI. And then later point in time, step by step, we'll start learning what is prompt engineering, what is advanced prompt engineering, and then what are LLM apps, and then agentic application. Nowadays they are very popular, agentic application and agentic systems, how to build different agentic systems. And then out of the box, in June, Databricks has announced something called Agentbricks, where they have created an amazing low code no code platform for building out agents on Databricks, right? So those also will try to understand like what all features are available in them, how can we use that, all those things are there. And then we'll also try to see what are their practical applications. Okay, so this is the gist of a series. So let's start with the first article. What is generative AI? AI has been around from last around 60-70 years, but what recently changes, the AI before was not generating anything. So there used to be some goal that okay, let's use AI for calculating like what is my store performance over time. Okay, so the machine learning algorithm used to run on the data, and then we would do multiple things like regression and all those things, and then finally come out with a decent answer. Okay, like why my store operations are not performing that well. So that with the goal we used to go. So AI was never a generative. AI was answering the question, and that is the main difference that has happened. AI started generating in I think 2017, around recently. A paper has come from that. Many of the larger organizations like OpenAI and uh, Meta Llama, like Meta, and then lot of other Anthropic, lot of other companies are there, Google for that matter. They all started researching on that, and then there was a race. Even Databricks started their own LLM. So there was a race who will create this new generative AI, artificial intelligent machine. Okay, so let's understand the definition of generative AI. Generative AI is a branch of artificial intelligence that doesn't just analyze the existing data, it creates new content from it. So instead of just going and predicting a number or classifying an input, generative models can learn the underlying patterns of the language, images, or audio and then produce something which is completely new. It is not, it just understand those patterns and produce completely new. A paragraph, a SQL query, a poem, a design, a synthetic data set, a marketing copy, a personalized recommendation, or even an executable logic for an agent. So these are like first time start generative. At its core, generative AI is a shift from, as I mentioned, right, from AI that answers to AI that generates. So earlier AI was just answering our question, how is my store performing? So we use machine learning and do a lot of things, and then it would answer that okay, your ROI of your margins are not good, and then your stocking is not done in a appropriate way, like you are not stocking enough like these indicators are extremely wrong. So that kind of answer we used to get from generative AI. But that kind of answer we used to get from traditional machine learning application. But what generative AI started answering, so the use cases uh, where we can find out that what can be the plan uh, for my customer based on certain data. So that's a complete 180-degree shift, and this is extremely essential to understand. Like each and every student should understand what is the difference between machine learning and generative AI. So then they don't just combine it and say it, right? Like, because even the tools and structures that are going to be there as a part of generative application development are completely different from machine learning. At some point they collab, but then by and large, the way it is being developed, the mindset is completely different. Okay, what are the generative AI use cases? Let us try and understand what are the generative AI use cases. So as I mentioned, many of the big organizations started creating their own models. They, some of them can be named here, like llama, then GPT style transformers, like OpenAI started creating their own model called GPT. And then DBRX is the model created by Databricks. The power of generative AI lies in ability to generate and reason, summarize, extract, classify, and increasingly take action. Okay, so let's try and understanding each case by case. First use case can be knowledge and text understanding. So now since generative AI started understanding and generating, so we can use it for knowledge and text understanding. Earlier we used to do only sentiment analysis, whether it's a good good sentiment or bad sentiment. So that kind of answers were only coming. Okay, but here what you can understand is you can start summarizing the text. So this is for the first time. The model starts summarizing the text, explain the complex concept in simple word, extract structured field from unstructured text. Even there are many cases of translation also, like from one to another. Since it start generating, so translation also became possible, and converting messy raw text into clean datasets. On Databricks, this become powerful when connected with PDF ingestion, delta tables, and AI functions like AI extract. Another use case can be content generation. Since it started generating, so a lot of things can be generated like blogs, marketing copy, sequels, code generation is one of the trendiest use case everyone is doing. Like each and every team is doing the code generation, and then creating synthetic data sets for machine learning. So the understanding the underlying pattern and creation is something generative AI is doing. Third can be intelligent decision and automation, correct? So earlier we used to keep the decisions like, okay, if this happened then do this, if this happened then do this. But instead of that, what generative AI can do is we can pass on the instruction, and based on those instructions it can take the decision step by step. Okay, so it can predict the next best action. It can detect anomalies. It can detect anomalies and even take a decision on top of that. Like it can decide that, okay, this kind of anomaly I need to handle in this particular way. So that type of uh, decisioning can be done directly within that system itself. Then the another part is agentic application. That's the new way of doing it. So earlier we used to just converse with generative AI just like we are conversing with an intelligent person, just asking question, getting the answer like that. But then there came the agentic application where uh, generative AI, we just need to instruct it in a right way, and then an intelligent system would be created which can do multiple things. Like agents can uh, not just answer your question, but they would answer by thinking in a particular way, by reasoning it in a particular way. So those instructions of how we can reason it can be given to an agent. So that's the difference between uh, the other system and how agents behave. So generative AI does more than chat, it acts. Earlier, it used to just do a chat, like we ask a question, give the answer. But agents started acting, and how to act on that particular situation, we can give a patterns, tools, and make him understand. And how that reasoning can be done based on that. pattern itself, like you can create type of uh, multiple type of agents. So that's the beauty of it. So agents that, let's check with some examples. So agent that can read policy PDFs and answer your question. They can read it, they can understand it, and then they can start answering your question. There can be SQL agents that query delta tables. So what SQL agents can do is, SQL agents can, you can ask the question. What SQL agent would do is, they would try to do multiple things. First of all, based on your SQL, based on your question, they would try to fetch the right data from any of the documents, or they would try to fetch the data from any of your databases. Once that data is fetched, they are going to try to understand that information, and then they would answer your question. So it's a multi-step process, or multi-step reasoning they are capable of doing. Okay. Even there are some of the advanced systems are like multi-agent system. It's not just one agent that works, but there is a super agent which will give tasks to multiple folks. I always compare this to, let's say you are having some function in your home, right? Like some marriage is going on or something like that, right? And then you are in charge of all the activities that are going. So you being an in charge, you can be everywhere. You can be doing, like, you are cooking also, you are arranging the stuff, and you can do everything. Or else what you do is, you create you just find out the next best person, and then make him understand that how he has to perform that task, and then you leave that task up to him. He will he will know the ground rules, but then based on the context he will act accordingly. So that's how an agent works. And what you in this case would be is a multi agent, or rather a super agent, right, who is supervising these smaller agents. So that's the beauty of agentic application. So generative AI also, instead of just giving answer, or just some smaller creation, it started acting, and those are called the agentic system. Year 2025 is considered to be an year of agents. Okay. And all these things are possible on Databricks. Okay. Some of the industrial application also we can think of is, like, let's say there is a retail customer, or there is a uh, big retail giant. They can have an intelligent product and store assistant. Okay. That intelligent product and store assistant, as I mentioned, can be given this knowledge completely, and then he has to have his own intelligence, and based on that context he will start operating and managing the stuff. So those things are possible. And then there can be healthcare related domain. How can they help in healthcare is, like, clinical notes and summarization. Since now AI start generating the stuff, so if you give the right ground rules, then it can summarize and generate the stuff as well. Even some of the decision support also. So for example, if, let's say, doctor is having a conversation with his patient, and let's say that conversation is getting recorded, doctor will definitely give his advice and medicines, but even that conversation can be compared against the whole of a medically sound agent, and that agent can tell that, okay, based on this, this is the kind of symptoms I see, and therefore this can be a diagnosis. So maybe a doctor can just compare his analysis with that, uh, and then just, it may just have a double check there. So that kind of thing also can happen. Finance, and in case of finance, there are a lot of activities like risk analysis and document intelligence they do. For that also, the agents can be, the supervised agents or agentic system can be, or generative AI can be very helpful. In manufacturing, there is a huge amount of data that is coming to your way from all the sensors and IoT, but then not always a person can be active, right? So they would have those dashboards and other things, but that's again a reactive way. So you have to continuously look at that. But then agentic systems, what they can do is, they can crawl around, and they can just simply find what is the issues, and based on the data they can act. So these type of intelligent systems are possible. Similarly, nowadays there are a lot of media related content creation and all is coming through AI. Like, they can create images, they can create videos. Of course, there are a lot of regulatory stuff around it, but then it can do that. It has the ability to do that. So definitely, the media industry is going to be disrupted because of this. Earlier, we have to be dependent on certain software and people, but now, and additionally, AI is coming. It is not going to replace anyone, but then it will bring that element. Then definitely we have understood that why generative AI, but then why only on Databricks free edition? As I mentioned, it is very difficult for a new person to start learning generative AI without getting a right platform. And Databricks free edition is completely zero cost environment. You can get your own workspace, and in that, I think that it is an amazing platform. You can very easily learn a lot of things here. So. Uh, First of all, it has an access to great enterprise grade LLMs is there, and it's available for free. The platform itself is great, and then you can have hands-on learning with workflows and notebooks, and everything is there. Amazing notebooks are there, Databricks notebook. Within that, you can install and run your code. You can experiment very easily. Then production ready skills, because the platform itself is such an amazing thing, so you can learn these production ready skills right up from day one. And then experimentation and creativity, as I mentioned, can be very easily achieved here. We'll go through this, how to like just navigate and work out on Databricks platform. We'll go through that in the next upcoming videos. Databricks GenAI environment, if you just wanted me to demo you quickly, you have something called Playground. Playground will create a dedicated video, but just to showcase. Even the free edition has a Playground, and then there is a lot of amazing models available, starting from GPT, Meta Llama Maverick is available. A lot of Meta models are also available. They are amazing for creating the new application. So these are all available. Even GPT models are available. You can use them for smaller experiments. I think should be okay. I have done some smaller experiment. No cost was incurred. It is an amazing place. And then you can just simply select the model and then start testing the things out. So this is an AI playground, and then there is something called serving endpoints. Let me check serving. Yeah, so there are a lot of endpoints. All these models are available as a service, so you just don't need to download. You don't need to use any tokens. You can directly use it, and through a simple code and Databricks library, which is available called with LangChain, you can very easily experiment in here. So this is great. Like this models are all available here, and then you can create any notebook and then start experimenting on top of it. So that's the beauty of it. Okay, apart from that, internally Databricks has brought in a lot of features like AI query for like bringing in AI into data engineering, and also those are like advanced topics. You can think of it. And Databricks has also started putting in ml flow for entire machine ML for generative AI as well. So all those features, some of them are G8, some of them are in process of getting GA. Those also will learn. And then simply you can create the notebooks. Let's go here. You can just simply go here, and I have created some of the notebook. Maybe I can show that to you. So LLM prompt engineering, I was just trying few things out. So you can very easily create a notebook like this, and within that notebook you can very easily experiment. So if you want to learn all these things, please do subscribe. This is kind of a knowledge sharing from me to you, so that whatever problems I faced when I was trying to learn generative AI, nobody else should face. So this is a small attempt to help out. Okay, this will be a complete 10 to 11 videos series, which I have already in process of preparing, and even the exercises are all ready. So I'll share those exercises on the GitHub. So thank you guys for spending time and listening. Thanks a lot.